Okay.
ใช้ซูมก็ได้นะครับถ้า
So I use Google Meet so that I record it. I have to pay and I have recording in Google Drive, so it's bigger, and then I have no limit, I think, so far. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna start with share my screen. Okay. And I'll okay, one note. Okay. So this is like from my clip. Okay, you can have a look. And okay. I think I can shrink. Okay, never mind. I'll try to fix it later. Okay. Okay. So so let's look at. So this is we talk about I think figure 2.18, right?
Yeah.
In the book 2.18. Okay, we have two figures A and B. So let's look at A first. So in A you have a very nice triangle. Do you okay, I'll start with A and then I'll go to B. Okay, so we have so this is P and this is Q. Okay, and then we have demand, okay, and supply like this. Okay. And we know all the data point. So this is the equilibrium, say E. Okay. So P at the equilibrium is 3. Okay. And the Q is 4.5. Okay. And we know the intercept. The intercept of S. So this is okay, just like S, right? S supply, which is equal to the marginal cost of the society, and D is actually equal to MB. Okay. The intercept of the supply curve is at 1. Okay, so this is P equal to 1. And the intercept of the demand curve, this point is 6.5. Okay, so we know that so we start with the price, right? Equilibrium price. So the area, let me draw it with okay, green. So this area, okay, so it's below the demand curve, but it's above the equilibrium price. So that is your CS, right? Consumer cost. Yeah. And this area here, like below the price, but above the supply curve. So this is like producer surplus. And you can see that both of them have a very nice right angle triangular. So we can use the formula for the right angle triangle to calculate the area. Okay. So we know from math, right? From math that if you have okay the right angle triangle, so the area is 1/2 multiply the base, which is here, right?
Yep.
And then multiply this area which we call height. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So so for the CS, right? For the CS
Consumer
is
shop.
equal to 1/2 the base, right? So the base, you can see that the base of the green triangle is equivalent to this length between 0 to 4.5. So we have to multiply the base 4.5, and then the height is this. So that is the difference between 6.5 and 3. Multiply with 6.5 minus 3. Okay, so that equal to 1/2 multiply with 4.5 multiply with 3.5. So that is equal to 7.88. But they give it's a dollar sign, so that the value is in terms of money. The area of the triangle is has a unit of US dollars, right? And for the PS, it's the same thing, right? And we know that, yeah, let me use this PS. So the base is the same, 4.5. So 1/2, 4.5. The height is this, right? It's from 3 to 1, so it's 2. Okay, so you have 2 multiplied 2.5, multiplied with 1/2 or divided by 2. So that is, again, with dollar size 4.5. Okay, so this means that when we combine CS, let me use the black, CS plus PS is equal to 12.38. Okay, any question? No question, right?
It's just like math.
Yeah, it's math. Well, there's many players in the explanation that I actually would like to prefer to use math to explain. But basically, what you're gonna learn, like in AP, you're gonna learn calculus, right? The derivative.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you find, like, if you have a demand function, and if you find the derivative of the demand function with respect to usually P, you're gonna get an equation for MB, or in many cases we call it MR, marginal revenue. But it will be math. So this is like the first year microeconomic course, right? When you go to second years, and especially in the UK, everything will be math. You start with like an equation, and then you have to derive the equation, and you're going to get the same property that we see here, but it is basically math. Graphing is math, right? You just draw a graph to represent mathematical equations.
Do you know about econometrics?
Yeah, actually, that is my field.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, I have a PhD. Well, you can say that I have, my PhD is PhD in economics, but my field is econometric theory. So you can say that I got my
That's the hardest
PhD.
part.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's difficult. It basically is just math, more like statistic applying to economics data.
That's cool.
Yeah, I choose it because I think it's difficult. I like to challenge myself. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so let's look at 2.18. Okay? So this is when it becomes slightly more difficult, but not too bad. So we have now demand like this. Okay? And then we have the supply. Supply is instead of have intercept. Intercepts mean like it is intersection between the graph to the y or the vertical axis. But instead of having intercept like demand here, you can see that it actually have an intercept like here, because it intersect with the y-axis. This supply do not have one. Supply actually have intercept on the x-axis, so it's like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the equilibrium at this point E, and then the equilibrium price is 3. The quantity, equilibrium quantity is 4. Okay. So the intercept for the demand at this point is at the price of 6.5. Okay. And the intercept of supply curve, but with the horizontal axis is at 2. Okay. So now you can see that for the CS, right? You have like triangle, same as before, right? So CS is again 1/2 multiply the base. The base is like from here to here, which is like 4, right? Same size here. And the height is this. So it's a difference between 6.5 and 3. And I think that is the same number that we have done before, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, slightly different because the equilibrium instead of Q is 4 instead of 4.5. But anyway, is 1/2 multiplied 4, and the difference between 6.5 minus 3. So 1/2/2, 4, and then you have 3.5. Yep, and that is 7. Okay, so now the challenging part is this, and you can see, let me highlight it first. Okay, so this, okay, so you can see that it's not triangle. It's like it have 4 corners, right? But it's not a rectangle. It have one parallel line, but the other 2 lines are not. So in the UK, this shape is called, this is like I look on the dictionary, trapeziums, right? But in the US, I think it's more at your school is trapezoid. Okay. But if you look at it, what do you see? Okay, you can see that okay, you can have to, you can remember the formula, right? Which is like given that the area of the trapezium is A plus B.
A plus B times C.
Yeah.
Over
Times this and divided by 2. Okay. So you can do that, or and you get the answers of 9, right?
Wait, sorry, which part is A, B, and which part's C?
Okay. So so here A is this. This side is A.
That's
Okay.
always A?
This is A, and this is B. Okay, and C is something else here. Okay, but I can give you something simpler than that formula, and I prove, actually, out of curiosity, I prove. You can see that I try to prove this, that it actually the same, but I will not show you the mathematical proof. I think it's just algebra, and I don't think you need it right now, but let me show you that what this actually is. Okay, so you can see that actually the formula is originated by you get a rectangle and then you deduct an area of a triangle. Okay, so you can see that C, right? C is not even part of the trapezoid, but we're using it. Why? Because you can see that this guy here, okay, let me use the color blue. This guy here is a triangle. Okay, and if you combine the red and the blue, it's actually a rectangle.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, okay, I using yellow now. This is rectangle. Okay, so what is the area of the rectangle? The rectangle is just side multiply side. Okay, so the orange, okay, orange rectangle, it actually, you can see that, okay, this size is 3, right? 0 to 3, and the other side is 4. Okay, so the yellow is just 3 times 4, and it's just 12. Now, what about the blue triangle? Okay, we have been using the formula for the triangle for 3 times now. So it's 1/2, right? So what is the base? You can use this as a base, right? It's 4 minus 2, so the base is 2. And the height, again, is 0 to 3, it's 3. So that guy, this guy cancels out, so it's just 3. So you can see that if we deduct the area of the triangle from the rectangle of yellow, we have 12 minus 3, which is 9. And it's exactly the same answers that you have in the formula of the trapeziums in the book.
It's the same as A plus B times C?
Yeah, it's the same. You can, if you look, okay, we can try to do that. Okay, so A, in the book, right? In the book, it gives you the area is the area of trapezium is equal to A plus B times C. C divided by 2. Okay, A here, A is 4 plus B is here. It's just from 0 to 2, so 2, right? Multiply C is here, but it's the same as here, so it's 0 to 3, so it's 3 divided by 2. So you have 4 plus 2 is 6, multiply 3 divided by 2. 6 multiplied 3 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. So it's the same.
Oh, yeah.
And I can prove mathematically that this formula
works.
Yeah, this formula is actually coming from the formula of a rectangle minus a triangle.
Okay.
I can prove it to you, but I mean, do you want me to do it? If you want, I can do it.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's just basic algebra. Okay, instead of using numbers, right? We're using the symbol, like we have A, B, and C. Okay, so now let's start. Okay, so the area, right? We calculate. We got okay, we got 3 by 4. That from the yellow rectangle, right? But instead of 3 by 4, basically 3 is just 3 is So 3 is C. Yeah, right? So this side, so the rectangle is just side multiply the other side. Okay? So the rectangle is just A times C. Okay? So that is the, again, the yellow rectangle. What about the triangle? So the triangle of blue. Okay. So now instead of number, we're using the symbol instead. Triangle, right? So it's 1/2 multiply the base of this triangle is here, right? 1 is here, but we don't have a number for that. But as you can see, this line is just a difference between A and B. So because, right, the whole line is equal A. So this extra line is just A minus B. So I can say that it's A minus B. Okay. And the height is actually C. Okay. So we have rectangle and the small triangle. So what happened if we subtract them, right? We subtract them before. So we're going to do that. So we're going to subtract. Okay. We start with A multiply C, subtract everything in the parentheses, 1/2, multiply with A minus B, multiply C. Okay. So this is just a matter of mathematics. Okay. So what we do, like, I can sort of expanding. So 1/2 is multiplied within this A minus B, and C is multiplied with A minus B as well. Okay. So I keep the parentheses, but inside you have two terms. One term is 1/2 here, multiply A and C, right? A and C. And then you have a minus, you have 1/2 again, but now you multiply with B, this here, and C, okay? And we still have AC. So A multiply C, I just write AC, okay? Because it's the same symbol, like A and C together, or A multiply C, okay? So now you have that. So you have you have AC. Now in order to get rid of the parentheses, okay, it's minus. So you have to multiply a -1 into the parentheses. So you have minus 1/2 AC, okay, and then you have plus 1/2 BC. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, so this is AC, and this is AC divided by 2. Okay, so basically it's just a half, right? It's a full AC minus half of an AC. So what you have left between these two is just plus, it's just positive 1/2 AC, okay, and plus 1/2 BC. So we have 1/2. We can factor it out. We have, okay, let's see what we have. We have same 1/2, same C. So we can factoring this out. So that when we're factoring out, okay, I factoring 1/2, I factoring C out. So within the parentheses, I have only A plus B left. And that is the formula, right? The formula is A plus B multiply C and divided by 2. So you can see that the formula for the trapeziums, it actually coming from the algebraic operator of calculating a rectangle minus the triangle. Yeah. And that's it.
Geometry.
Yep. So we're using graph, and graph is math, Okay, it's just a math of two-dimensional. If okay, if we would like to model more complicated economics behavior, then the graph will go beyond like 2 and 3-dimensional. You can have like a finite number of dimensional, like n-dimensional. But we cannot draw the graph, but we can use this, like we can use mathematic tools to analyzing it. But that is like beyond the scope of the IB econ. Okay, any question?
Just one quick. Sorry, did you record this? Like, can I watch it back later or not?
Yeah, I'm recording it. So so after these sessions, I can take a little bit of time until like it appear in my Google Drive, and then I can upload into YouTube. Okay, so you can watch, you can re-watching this, see whether I make any mistake. Yes. I think I was surprised to see that this part is not HL. So I think it's under 2.5, right? So 2.5 is both SL and HL, right?
Well, the next part 2.6 is only HL.
Yeah.
The whole unit critique of maximizing that's only HL.
Yeah, but that is very, very I understand what it is, but it's very dry, no graph. It's just basically the concepts, the new concepts.
You think you could explain that when we get there?
Yeah, I can. I can. Yeah, but at the moment we aim for the test on Friday. Is it Friday? Right?
Yes. So
yeah. So Friday is up to 2.5, right? So we don't have to do yet. Yeah. Okay. So any questions?
Not exactly. Just
So from what I read, one of the concepts that they want to show from this is that at the moment we're talking about efficiency of the allocation. Right? Yeah. So they would like to see the difference between allocative efficiencies versus but probably not fair.
Yeah.
So let me explain. So that is a concept that I think the book tried to get you to it. And the difference between what we call positive economics and the normative, like the positive economics and normative economics as well. So I think it introduced that two concepts in like section 1. But again, section 1 is reading like a dictionary. It just explain the definition. Is a good explanation, but I don't think like without a context you fully understand what it is. But basically what we try to answer the question is that okay, let me make sure I got it right. Okay, it's so we would like to answer the question about what should we produce. Actually, I have an idea that I'm going to show you, which is beyond. This is like not in the textbook, but it might help you to understand more the concept that we are studying, especially with marginal benefit and marginal cost, and idea of social welfare.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
Why exactly is it that when marginal cost equals to marginal benefit, is that like the maximization, like best allocation?
Well, I explained that in a YouTube clip that
Okay.
but I can go back to this.
It's fine. I can watch the YouTube clip
It's
later.
okay. It's okay. I'll just explain a little bit, and then you can watch it, and then we can talk.
I will watch the video.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. But the idea is that but you can see, right? So according you see more in the clip, but okay, this is my CS, and I'm using different color, but the green area is my producer surplus. Okay, so you can see that as we go from 0, right? We go from the output of 0 up until the output of Q1. Q1 is the output at the equilibrium. Okay, so you can see that the CS, right, is triangle. It's big here. It's big at the beginning, but it becomes smaller, 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 and it stops here. So the question is, should we produce beyond Q1 or not? Okay, so what is this point, right? This is the equilibrium, but what is it here? Okay, you can see that the area under the curve of demand is what consumer gonna get. Okay, and the area below the supply curve is the cost. Okay, so let me draw a line here. Okay, I'm gonna use blue. Okay, so let's say that this is when you produce 3 units. Okay. Okay, so let's say that this line representing 3 units. Okay, so part of this line, this part, okay, up until the supply curve, this is the marginal cost at 3 units. Okay, yes. And this, the area, right, from this, well, actually, if you follow the whole, like the whole blue, right, the whole blue is marginal benefit at 3. So this is when, like, a lot of concept in economics is about marginal. You're gonna learn a lot about, like there'll be like marginal revenue, marginal profit, marginal cost, marginal utility, any type of marginal, because like we interested, like, what is the one more additional unit gonna bring about? So this at 3, right? When we have two unit produced and we add one more 3. The blue is marginal benefit because it's like from 0 to under the demand curve. Why we call it marginal benefit is because when we're producing it, right, it's a benefit because people can eat it, people can use it. Depends on what good we're talking about, but we produce another good, and that good represent a benefit that the society will get because we're producing something. But what is the cause of that? Cause of that is the area under the supply curve. Because supply curve, the producers they want to produce and they look at the cost. So the marginal cost is this area that I highlight in yellow, but the marginal benefit is what I highlight in blue, like the whole thing. So if you subtract benefit, right, you marginal benefit minus marginal cost, the difference, which means like the benefit exceeding the cost is, okay, I have to use another color. Okay, I'm going to use pink or purple. Pink, yeah. So this here, right, the pink is the difference between marginal benefit and marginal cost. So that is still the pink area is the benefit exceeding the cost. And you can see that the pink area is a part of consumer surplus and producer surplus.
Yep.
So the bit on the top of this P line, that pink area from that line to the top is go to consumer surplus, and this from this here up until the supply curve, the part of the pink line, it actually go to the producer surplus. So the difference between marginal benefit and the marginal cost is the benefit to the society, and it go to consumer, and part of it go to the producer. Okay, so what is the idea? Like how many units we're going to produce? The answer is as long as the benefit, marginal benefit exceeding the marginal cost, we keep producing it. So you can see that as we go.
So as long as there's more benefit than cost, then you keep going.
You keep
but
going.
The moment the cost is more than the benefit, you stop.
Yeah, when you stop is at this point, you can see that at that point, the line underneath supply and the demand is the same. So that signifies that at that point, the marginal cost and the marginal benefit of the last unit produced, Q1, is actually the same. So that's when you stop. Why? Because if you go beyond Q1, you're going to have something like this. And you can see that this is MC, but the MB is this. So you can see that MC, the area under supply, is much bigger than the MB. So that is when the cost of producing it is exceeding the benefit. So we should not go that.
Wait, sorry, is there a formula to find benefit and cost, or do you just look at the graph and like?
Well, we just look at the graph. We just look at the graph at the moment. We should look at the graph and see that what we can. It's like it's the same. Like in the clip, I explained that this is the same supply and demand model.
Yeah.
However, we look in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
At first, you're looking as like consumer and the producer, like they're negotiating, and then it arriving at the point of the intersection. Now we're looking in terms of like you are the third person, you are the government in this scenario, and then there is consumer, producer, and you can see that interaction between them. As long as it generates good and the marginal benefit is exceeding the marginal cost, we keep. But as a government, you encourage to produce, but then and then you stop when the marginal benefit and marginal cost is stopped. Because if you go and it maximizes, and it guarantees that the total benefit is going to be maximized as well, not just the marginal benefit, like not just consumer surplus and producer surplus is maximized, but the marginal benefit to the society is maximized. Because if we produce one more unit, the cost is higher than the benefit. So basically you have a negative benefit. And if you add that to the total, right?
Yeah.
You actually reduce the total.
If you're the government and you see it's not worth it and you stop it.
Mm-hmm. Like if let's say that at the equilibrium you got 100, right? But if you produce more, the cost exceeds the benefit. So you got a negative profit. And when you add it to 100, you actually got 99. So you actually reduce your total benefit in this scenario. So you don't want to go that. You don't want to go to that point. Okay. As for the formula, if you have like benefit functions, and if you have a cost function, you can find the marginal benefit and marginal cost and equate them, and then you can get the quantity that actually give rise to MB equal to MC. But that I think is beyond this presentation.
And sorry, just a quick question. In the video, do you explain like maximum social welfare? Do you explain that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, this basically the welfare that we've seen is just consumer surplus plus producer surplus. That is a welfare. And you can see that if we stop, okay, let's look at the graph we draw. let's look at this. Okay. So let me highlight this here. Okay. So what is the pink area? The pink area is the area underneath the supply curve, right? So as you're producing more, that is add up of the marginal cost. So if you stop at E, okay, we stop at E, right? This area here represent the total cost, because it's like the marginal cost for each additional unit plus, and it the total cost, right? And what the society get, right? The society actually get actually, if we're talking about the total benefit, right? The total benefit, I call let me use another. Okay, the total benefit. Okay, so the total benefit, because the benefit is mean demand. So all the area up until E is the total benefit. So it means that, okay, total benefit here is the green triangle, plus the red triangle, plus the trapezoid or trapeziums of purple. So actually, the purple is like, if you look at the supply, the purple trapezoid is actually the cost. But in terms of the benefit, it is part of the area under the demand curve. So it's part of the benefit as well. But you can see that, okay? So if we subtract, right, TB minus TC, so this is like total benefit of up until 4.5 unit of good minus the total cost. What you get is just the green triangle, which is consumer surplus, plus the red triangle, which is producer surplus. So if we talk about like the welfare, right? The welfare is the benefit minus the cost. So that is the welfare that is maximized. So because you can see that is the consumer surplus plus producer surplus that exceeding the cost of producing up until 2.5. Okay, so that is maximized, because if we go beyond that, if we go like to the right of E, okay, let's say that this is 5, right? So you produce like not 4.5, but you produce 5, you produce half a unit more. But you can see that now the cost is this. The cost is this, but the benefit is this. So the cost is now higher than the benefit. So the difference between the cost and benefit is going to be what we call like something like a negative marginal benefit, because it's not going to be positive anymore. So when you add it to the welfare, it actually reduces. Like I said, like suppose that this 2 guy plus is 100, right? And let's say this is negative 10. When you add negative 10 to what already is 100, you're reducing it to 90. So that's why we're not going to go to the right-hand side of the equilibrium of 4.5, because the tiniest thing, like you can go to 4.6, right, or 4.55 is still cost higher than the benefit. So we're not go there. So we can stick with just equilibrium. But you can see that, right? You can see that the consumer surplus is like it big, it becomes smaller until same as the cost. So that is as much you can go. The producer benefit as well. You can see that it start off very big, and then it goes smaller, 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 and eventually it equal to the marginal cost. So it's that the best you can do. So that's why you stop that, and that is how you maximize. If you stop, okay, what if you stop to the right, to the left hand side? If you stop here, okay, if you stop here like 3, so what you have is just you have consumer surplus like this, okay,
Yeah.
and then producer surplus is like this.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see that if you go more, you can add more positive consumer surplus. You can add more positive producer surplus. So we should go more than 3. But then when we reach E, where you produce like 4.5 unit of Q, and that's it. That is the last point you can stop, because more than this, you start reducing the welfare.
So marginal cost and marginal benefit are just calculated using consumer surplus and producer surplus. That's how you find it.
Like if I have to like to say the definition, the marginal benefit is like look at the demand, and it's just one more unit of Q where you get. So the length here, right? If you add 3, right? If you
Yes.
say from 2 to 3, it's gonna add you this much, and that is MB. So that is like from 0 up into the demand curve, right? MB of the unit 3. And if we are okay, this up until this, right? I again, I'm using yellow. The part, right, from 0, the part still the part of the blue line from 0 up until the supply curve, that is MC. So that is MC. And you can see that the difference between MB and MC is this here. So MB is still higher than MC.
Okay. Just a question. So are MB and MC actual numbers, or is it just theory?
It's the actual number. Oh, well, I mean, if you have a graph, if you have an equation, you can calculate it. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can calculate it, but it's yeah, I think you can calculate it. If you have the demand curve, is the area under the demand curve. So it represent like willingness to pay,
yeah,
of the people, right? So as I explained, like you last time I explained in the clip that if we start from, okay, let me start from fresh graph, right? P and Q, and then we have demand, and then we have supply. Okay, so at the beginning you have 0. Okay, you produce nothing. Okay. However, okay, if you produce like start producing first unit, okay, if you look for people, right, as I told you, like when we try to find a demand curve, we asking people like, okay, if I producing, you can either asking like at what price, at this price, how many units you're gonna buy, or if you have 1 unit, what is the price you're gonna give me? Okay, so let's using this. Okay, if you're producing 1 unit, how much money we get for that unit? So we draw the line up. Okay, we go there. And suppose that this is P1. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm using subscribes. P1 is a price that if you have only one unit, people willing to pay for that unit, P1. Okay. What about the second unit? Okay. So now you produce another unit, unit number 2, right? For unit number 2, people would like to pay this much, P2. Okay. And we keep go on and go on and go on. So the price that people willing to pay is less and less because more, like now there are more units now of the good, right? So you know that eventually we will go to this point E, and okay, so we're gonna have a price of, I call it P star now. Okay, in the clip I call it P subscribe because I start that way first, but let's call it P star so that it distinguish between star and 1 and 2. So P star, you can see that P star it actually lower than P1 and P2. Okay, so the guy, okay, imagine that when we produce the first unit, right? And because it's one unit, like you can think of like I'm producing a sport car, right? Only one, very unique. So the first guy that come and willing to pay that much P1, he must be rich, right? So he pay for that. When I produce the second unit, then the second guy come and he pay me P2, right? Yeah. But if none of this happening, but like I let, like instead of just let the first guy buy, right? I let people negotiating before I actually produce anything. I let them negotiate like how many units they want and what price. I will arrive at P star first.
Equilibrium.
Okay? And at the equilibrium, the first guy that willing to buy my car actually make a benefit because he got the car at a cheaper price. Okay, what the difference between P1 and P star is the consumer surplus for the first guy. Okay. So let me go.
Pay a high price.
Yeah. So instead of, okay, let me use the okay. Instead of paying a high price, he pay only P star. So that is his consumer surplus. And you can see that all this guy that ended up pay less than what they're willing to pay because the equilibrium price happened to be cheaper. All these guy got the consumer surplus.
So they all benefit from it. They're all happy.
Yeah. But what about the producer, right? At 1, let's assume that the producer have no, like, we call it normal profit is 0, right? Normal profit is 0. Like in the perfect competition, people don't make any profit, right? Just normal profit is 0. So how much the producer willing to sell at the first, right? We say that here at, let's say, P3, okay? Because supply is asking the question, okay? At P3, how many units you would like to produce? I say, producer say only 1, okay? So P3 must be exactly his cost, because if he make no profit, right? He willing to sell at the price at his marginal cost. If I like if my car, right, that I produce cost me $10, at least I need to get $10 because that is where I get my cost back, and the higher than $10 would be my profit. But let's assume that because in like the market is so competitive, so I make 0 profit, but I will try to get a price at my cost. So P3 will be my cost. What if I produce another unit 2? Again, P4 will be my cost. And as I produce more and more unit, my cost is higher and higher because that represented by the supply curve. Okay. However, when I sell at P star. So you can see that P star for the producer is actually higher than the cost. P star is higher than P3, P star is higher than P4, P star is higher than any unit, any price you're willing to sell up until the equilibrium. So this area represents the profit that I get. I'm willing to sell for less, but I get higher price.
Higher profit. So you're benefiting.
Yeah. So that's why it's become producer surplus. And when we arrive at point E, that is when no more. At E, the producer surplus is zero. Consumer surplus is zero because marginal benefit is exactly equal to the marginal cost. So that is where the whole economy will stop.
And then after that, it gets bad.
Yeah. After that, you can see that now the cost, like if we go to, let's say that, okay, so this is Q star. So if we do like Q star plus 1, okay, I put it here. So Q star plus 1, so I produce one more unit. Right? So you can see that the benefit, right? I'm stupid.
Huh?
It is demand curve. See? Sometimes I make a mistake.
Yeah, I was thinking. I
yeah,
was
sorry. So that is like when you like try to do it very quickly. So that is supply, that is demand. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought something looked off.
Yeah.
I mean, actually.
Yeah. So So anyway, so when you produce like Q star plus 1, right? So what happening is that the benefit is now the marginal benefit is like this. Is this high, this much marginal benefit of producing Q star plus 1. So, but the marginal cost is this.
Mm-hmm.
So the cost
But costs more than you're benefiting.
Yeah. So that's why you're not going to do it.
No one's going to do it. Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to do it
That
because
makes sense.
you're going to have a negative benefit. So when you add a negative benefit to the total benefit you have, you actually shrinking the total benefit, or the, like in this case we call you can see that I try to distinguish between the total benefit and the welfare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the well it's similar, but so here I emphasize that producer surplus plus consumer surplus is actually the part of the welfare that is greater than the marginal cost. But marginal benefit, the total benefit greater than the total cost. And we stop at Q star at the equilibrium.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So any more questions?
Not really.
Okay. So you want to go, do you want to I can show you a graph that extend this concept a little bit more. You want to do that?
That would be interesting.
Well, it actually is meant. Okay, first, I haven't said that. I was about to tell you that. Okay, so we're talking about how much we should produce. Okay, like if we talk about a point in the in a production frontier, right? PPF.
Yeah.
Possible production frontier or PPC, and then we choose a point and how much we produce. I want to produce this good Q star, right? So that is how we try to answer like how many, how much
To produce.
Yeah, how much of what good, right?
Yeah, it's
But and we claim that okay, this is social efficiency. So because it's a point where the welfare is greatest. However, we're not talking about income distribution. Okay, so that's why I talk about cars, right? So if you produce cars, I say like if you produce like very expensive car, the guy that can buy it is rich guy.
Is the
So
really
we're not talking about the social inequality or equality here, right? We're talking about like this is like positive, like how much should we spend our limited resources to produce this good? The answer is Q star, and that is what we should produce. But for like how much of this good of the Q star that we should give to person A, how much we should give to person B is different thing. In the US, it's like market. So they believe that if you're working hard, you should earn the benefit of it, right? If you so the tax, they're like Republican, they would like to tax less because tax is the tool of the government to have income redistribution. Because you tax from rich people to help poor people. But in the US, especially with the Republican Party, they believe that if you work hard, you should earn it. You should enjoy your benefit, right?
And then you tax the rich less.
Yeah. So that they believe that. And they believe that if you want to be rich, you should work hard.
Yeah.
But again, you might say that, okay, people already working hard, but they just like, they have some endowment that is inferior and they cannot move along the ladder, something like that, right? So like the country in the Scandinavian, they have high tax. So basically, no matter what income you have, you might have different income, but the more you earn, the more I'm gonna tax you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring the money to help poor people.
Social.
Yeah, social welfare, right? So that is like the Bernie Sanders of the US, where they have like this the socialist, right? What they mean is like tax more and help people.
Help the people.
Right? Yeah. So so what should we do? That is normative. What we call normative economics. So that is like what should we do? What should be how much we should tax? That is normative. And it's not clear cut. It depends on your bias, right? Your history, and many things.
How much you make, all that.
Yeah. But positive economics is just science. Like what we do, we're doing math. We're using math to solve social problem. And we think, okay, the solution is to produce Q star, and that is positive. I mean, we have reason we can explain exactly why we should produce Q star, but
it's not that easy.
Well, but how much we share Q star among people, that is normative. And probably that is up to political process, not to like as an economist, we can say that, okay, if you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. But what should we do? Right? It depends on I mean, people have different preference, right? In the UK, the reason why in the UK they have universal healthcare, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look, well, we can say that it's because of the World War II. People see like after World War II, they see a lot of people dead and injured, so they think we should help one another. So we should do the universal healthcare. But in the US, they believe in market mechanism, American dream.
You have
you should be able to keep your money. The government should have no say in your how you spend your money.
Yeah, but
yeah. So again, it's different people, different thinking, different history. That is what the part that the book would like to point out. Basically, especially with the critique. I haven't talked. I think toward the end, like the theory of knowledge in 2.1, that is the book tried to say is about that. A very interesting point, but very philosophical in terms of economics. But what I want to show you is you still have time, right?
Yeah. Wait, before that.
Okay. So last one, but I want in the book it mentioned deadweight loss, but I would like to show you that we can extend this demand supply a little bit further. Okay, so let's say like we have Okay. So this is demand for, let's say, cigarette. Okay. And this is the supply of cigarette. Okay. So that is the equilibrium. Okay. So let's just say I'm using black. So this is P1 and Q1. Okay. So so now we're using cigarette as an example. Okay. So it's the good is cigarette. And according to this, we should produce in Q1, the price of cigarette should be P1. Okay. So that that is just the market for cigarette. What about people that don't smoke?
They don't have any demand.
Well, they don't have any demand, but do they add it to the marginal cost? Right? When you smoke, right? And if you don't smoke and people around you smoke, or in a restaurant you eating and you don't smoke, but people smoke, that reduce your happiness, right? It reduce your welfare. So
Quality of life.
yeah, so we distinguish between what is the private marginal benefit and what is the society marginal benefit.
Welfare. Okay.
Okay, so we say it's still the same. Okay, still the same idea. So this is still MB, but we call it PMB. And this is PMC. Okay, but what about the society in terms of demand, right? We said that the social marginal benefit is the same as a private marginal benefit because the benefit from cigarette is for people who smoke, right? But what about the social marginal cost? So in this market, we only care about people who smoke, right? But there will be people who do not like smoke, and their welfare is reduced by the more cigarette you have or the more smoker you have in the society. So so actually the society marginal cost is higher than the private marginal cost. So this is PM's this is SMC.
Wait, sorry, do I actually know this part for the test?
No.
Okay.
Okay, this is additional bit, but it explore the concept a little bit further. Okay, so the cost is higher. Okay, and let's just say that the difference between the society and the private marginal benefit is what we call marginal damage, and let's say that it's 10 US dollars. So I mean, each cigarette produced, it actually the cost of it actually higher than the cost, because we say like the cost of the like the MC is equal to the price of the cigarette, but actually the marginal cost of the society is higher than that because there are some people that do not smoke and there are people who smoke, right?
And is that why we have the tax?
Yeah, but tax come later. Okay, so you can see that here, right? If we care about society, what efficient for the society, right? We have to look for where is the society benefit is equal with the society marginal cost. And it actually this point here. So actually we should produce Q2 and P2. So actually you have like when we don't care about the society, we only care about the private market of cigarette. You have overproduction.
Huh.
So you produce too much. Q1 is too much if you think about the society, because the cost to the society is actually higher than the cost to the people who smoke.
There's more cost than benefit.
Yeah. So, and you can see that if so when we produce okay. Okay, let me think a little bit. Okay, let me do this. Okay, because if no government intervention, right? So if the smoker demand and the factory supply, the equilibrium will be Q1. But you can see that at Q1, what happened? At Q1, the cost is actually already higher than the benefit. Okay, so you can see this area here, the inverse triangle here. So this is the area that, if you look at the society, you should stop this point, right? This is when the marginal cost of the society and the marginal benefit is the same. You should stop there. When you produce more than Q2, it actually, the cost is higher than the benefit. How much cost is higher than the benefit? This area, because this is the difference between the cost and the benefit. The cost that of producing at Q1 that actually higher than the benefit at Q1. Okay, this is what the concept of dead weight loss to the society.
Oh, okay.
And that is this term in page, I think maybe like in 2.6. Yeah,
it's page 70.
let me dead weight loss. I saw it. I just read
หน้า70ครับ
70 ใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่ครับ
what paragraph?
It's highlighted. It's the
Oh yeah. I got the black and white version. Yeah, also called the dead weight loss. Yes, this is the dead weight loss.
yes.
Okay, so you can see again, this is just simple model of demand and supply, but we can use it to explore and precisely, right? One of the solutions to this problem is taxation. Why we tax a cigarette? Because why? Because if it, without tax, right? Without tax, the price for the each pack of cigarette will be P1.
Yes.
But you can tax equal to MD.
Yeah, health
so
tax.
when you tax each pack of cigarette, you increase the cost. And how much do you tax? You tax so that S is shipping. This green line is shipped to become the pink line. So that is when the equilibrium will become this point and we're producing at Q2 and P2. Right? The P2 is higher than P1 because we added tax.
So with the health tax, you move it to the right equilibrium where there's no debt loss.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this is like the government intervention.
Yeah, government
is taxation. And I think it's just a little bit nice extension of what we already discussed, but it and it's like it explore further the concept of
it's interesting. I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. Very nice. Actually, there was this is like one example, right? This is one example where I think we call it negative consumption externality. Negative consumption, because consumption of the cigarette actually have a negative effect on other people. But you can have that positive consumption externality, you can have negative production externality or positive production externality. So there are 4 different cases, but this is the one that I think we don't have to do all the 4. You can do it later in in your study if you choose econ, but this is like an extension of what we have been discussing. Okay, I think we should stop now.
Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome. And if you have a chance to look at the clip, basically I explain what I explained. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it for sure.
Okay. Okay. I'll see you.
นัดกันอีกทีครับ
อะไรนะครับ
นี่จะมีนัดกันอีกทีก่อนวันศุกร์ไหมครับ
Yeah, I mean, if you want, if you have any question, we can talk again before Friday.
Thank you so much.
Okay. See you. Bye.
Bye.